You just let me know when you're ready, boss.
All right, buddy. We got the intro first.
Roger, roger.
Guys, welcome back to Urban Odyssey. Today we have a great show for you. This is one that I have been looking forward to for a very long time. We've just been trying to get everybody's schedule straight, get everybody on the same page. But we've got a excellent guest for you today. Joining us today through audio, we have Mr. Joshua Abraham. He is the son of Larry Abraham, who wrote the book None Dare Call It a Conspiracy. He is also a student and longtime friend of the notorious, the legendary Fritz Springmeier. So, Josh, if you'd like to introduce yourself, the floor is all yours, buddy.
Right on, bro. So thank you for having me on, man. Happy Friday. And yeah, great, appreciative, longtime student of Mr. Springmeier. He's been my Obi-Wan Kenobi for 15 years. And recently, when I found out my father was the most well-sold controlled opposition author in history with his books. You know, Fritz always knew, but he had to have me figure it out for myself as a good mentor would. And I'm just glad I figured out the truth, and Fritz was there to catch me when I was feeling a little weird. And he always puts me on my feet because Fritz, thank God that we have an Illuminati godfather still alive amongst us that's teaching the truth, and not some douchebag like David Icke who's just leading you all astray from the real hardcore truth. And because that's Ike's, that's why he gets paid, and
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, Fritz Springmeier has been such a the stuff that this community has been made aware of, and the work that he has done to just show people this side of the world that literally nobody really knew existed, and just the work that he's done. I have referenced it more times than I'm able to count. So how did you actually get in touch with him? How did you guys become friends?
Well, he saw me on my first interview I ever did with Alex Jones on InfoWars, and then he heard me on Coast to Coast. Like, he kind of heard me on a few shows, felt me out, just to make sure he wasn't going to be messing with some, douchebag who only wants a paycheck. He felt me out. He knew I was for real. He knew I couldn't be bought, and he contacted me, and I gracefully said, "Yo, like, and we talked, and yeah, the first night we talked, I just basically begged him, like, I don't have anyone, dude. Like, I got a project ahead of me I need your help with. Like, I want to go after Masonry. No one's ever done that. No one's gone around the oath." And he thought I was out of my mind. He's like, "Dude, you realize, though, they might kill you." It's like, yeah, but they're, with my stupid, dumb life, like, that would be a straight front of the line ticket to St. Peter, and I desperately need that. So let's go for that.
He really said that was a risk.
Oh, dude. Like,
Wow.
he thought I was nuts, dude. And I was like, you know what? I've been kicked out of my family empire. I'll never be as rich as I could have been. My life's, I don't have, fuck it, let's go. I don't have it. What do I got to lose? So, when you come from a multi-million-dollar family and they take a family business out from under you, anyone who's been in that situation, that sinking feeling of the hopeless. But hey, thank God for the brotherhood, because it gave me a mission, a new goal, and a purpose that I could never have dreamed of. And who would have thought I'd go all the way up to 33rd? I thought I was going to
Yeah.
go to maybe to Master Base, but
That
dude,
is
I never
definitely an
thought.
accomplishment. Yeah, I mean that
Yeah, and
is
thank
something
God.
unheard of.
Yeah, it is only because I really think it's only because I am Larry's son. Because these guys who show me the books, like, hey, we all have your dad's book. We're huge fans. We know what you're doing. We've never seen anyone do it before, and we just want to tell you, like, be careful, but you need to see this. We think you deserve it. It's just like real. Like I thought they were lying to me, and worse yet, it wasn't they were lying to me. It was even worse than that. They were kind of like, give it your best shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, when I figured that out, it's just like, oh, now they're just like, yeah, go ahead, see what dude. They're not wrong. The
Right.
profane have shut this information down for just because I don't have I'm just not popular enough. You know what's funny about the research game? It's turned into a popularity contest, but thank
Yes.
God for South Park calling it out, dude, because now that South Park's calling out all the ridiculousness of the Trump, the QAnon, we have shaved about 90% of the bullshit. That now we can move forward.
Is there a new
And
episode
starting
that
on
you're referring to?
oh yeah, the second episode
Oh,
of
I
the
haven't
new
seen that
season
yet.
where
I haven't seen it.
Cartman's Charlie Kirk and Clyde
Oh
is
my
basically
God, bro!
yeah. So you got
I've
Clyde
got
as
to
like
see that.
yeah, you got Clyde as Steven Crowder and Cartman as Charlie Kirk, and
Wow.
they should have nailed. But Alex Jones is too easy. He's just
Oh my God.
pathetic. You know, he's too easy of a target. But now that they're just making fun of all the bullshit that we're trying to expose, it's like now they have nothing, and we can move forward. And that's exactly what me and Fritz are just gonna put this team together. We got Justin from Just Integrity, who exposed Pfizer, and James O'Keefe. He's our third member. Like, I don't care what he says, I'm going to pull him by the hair.
Mm-hmm.
We need that guy because he did it. I tried to expose Masonry with O'Keefe, and he turned me down. I got all the
Yeah.
proof for it, the contract, and it's just like, you know, we need to assemble a team of the street. It's all about street cred now, dude. People are gonna
Mm.
figure out it's not about followers, it's about who has the best street cred and who
Yeah.
can't be bought. Like, and that's what we are gonna present is like this new wave of righteousness and
Mm-hmm.
integrity and honor and no paid bullshit. Like we
People who
have
love the truth.
yeah, we have to move forward beyond the fucking money, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get beyond the fucking the bait. That's the bait.
It is,
Don't
and it's
take
fake.
it, dude. It's so fucking hooked. It's so hooked. It's bad. And we have to represent something original, dude. Something
Right.
that cannot be bought and paid for. We have to put that Latin style cross up as our dude. We're not fucking around anymore, man. It's come to that point.
Yeah.
And it's really come to the point where people are just getting fed up and they're tired. They don't know what to do because they won't read. So
Exactly.
what do you do with people who won't read? So you got to read everything for them, and not only do that, you have to deliver it righteously, like with
Exactly.
no agenda. And this is exactly what we're going to do because me and Fritz will go to the death without taking a dollar. And that's why he's my mentor. And that's why if I did take a dollar, he'd drop me so fucking fast. It'd be
Right.
sick. He'd just
I'm glad
get
to
the
hear
fuck
that.
out. Yeah, he'd be like, he'd block me. He would just, and that would be worse than anything I could ever imagine. So, no thanks.
Yeah, Fritz Springmeier. When I first, I'm a bit newer into this. I've been down this path for maybe 2.5 years, and I've really hit it hard. But when I first discovered Fritz Springmeier, obviously everybody's really probably discovered him through bloodlines of the Illuminati, and so I'm starting to listen to some of his interviews, and the way that he presents the information is great. And then I see this Fritz Springmeier is robbed a bank or whatever they said he did. And I'm looking at this news article, and then I'm listening to him, and I'm like, you mean to tell me this guy right here robbed a bank? And
This
I
guy,
can't
yep.
believe it.
Yeah, he wasn't even he wasn't even in the same state that they charged him with the crime with.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And at the same time, uh, him having how long did he have to serve in prison?
9 years?
Yeah, so he's got 9 years that really stand for something, at least to me and to a lot of other people. Somebody who's done 9 years for this information that they've exposed, and
Street cred, dude, and that's all
yeah,
we got left. And that is what I'm trying to build up and establish, because I put my dad's book for free online, dude. I've never like pushed buy this, sell, dude.
hmm
You know my message. All I say is read the Bible and turn this off while you're listening to me, and just run to that Bible. Don't listen
yeah,
to what I have to say.
exactly,
Turn it off right now. Turn me off.
yeah.
Don't believe fucking nothing. Like,
That's what I
I just,
say.
yeah, dude. It's just I can't. You can bring a person to a library, but you can't make them read. So I'll do it, but and they're gonna find out the hard way. This is what Isaac's army on Twitter with 400,000 followers fucking crawled back. He's like, "Hey man, got no one left." Like, yeah, sucks to be you, bro. You
Yeah.
trusted that bullshit. He's like, "You want to come back?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, dude, I mean, why do I care so much? Like, this
Good
is what
question.
years of marijuana smoke has done to me. I want to sue somebody. Like, why do I
Right.
care? Like, why can't I just turn off that care? I can't. If I could turn it off, I would have taken the book of the law. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I can't turn it off, and that's what sucks. I hate my life because I can't turn it off. It's just like, dude, can't I just like?
Be
Oh man,
normal. Yeah.
yeah. But think about what's worse: going back to being normal or never waking up at all.
And
That's
that
like trying to go back into the matrix and jack
yeah.
back in.
That's
Like,
such a good
ooh,
point. The
that's
way you
scary.
yeah, the
That's
way you
scary.
That's such a good point. So, what I wanted to ask, just because I only know little bits and pieces of it. So, you mentioned obviously your father is Larry Abraham. So, how old were you when he wrote that book, and really, what is the story with it? Because I know I've kind of listened to some of your live, like your spaces on X, and I know you had mentioned a little bit about it, but I just kind of wanted to start there since it really is a good starting point.
Yeah, well, basically, him and Gary Allen had a solution to why everything was so weird back in the late 60s, early 70s. They
Wow.
were
Okay.
the first to be like, hey, there's a group. And they were the first to develop this idea of a hidden cabal,
hmm
and it's just like, that's cool, but sadly, you got paid a lot of money by the John Birch Society to not put that Z word in there.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
dude, and that Z word, woo. If you just don't say that word, you can get paid so much
Right.
fucking money, dude. And that's just like, nah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just, as someone who came from that lifestyle, like, where the fuck was CPS when I was a kid? I would have liked CPS in the 90s. My stepdad was a pile of shit. It's just,
Uh,
and that's the whole reason of why my life is destroyed, because my dad took that money and ran away and had a fucking ball and left me and my mom. And it's just like, you know what?
yeah.
I see the repetitive nature, and I'm going to stop that.
So is your dad still alive, or has he passed away?
He passed in 2008. And, you know, I'm just, I think it's better. And I know how God works. And
hmm
he's so cool like that. He not only did he give me the best-selling book in history on the Illuminati, but he made it into a weapon that I could spot controlled opposition.
hmm
That's brilliant.
Yeah, that is
I
brilliant.
Yeah, it's like, at first I thought I was screwed, but I was like, okay, so what do I do with this? Do I bury this info and just hope no one knows this, or do I just fucking scream it on a mountain and just do the most righteous thing in my soul? A
Right.
week later, I decided I'm gonna scream it, and I just, I really thought about it, because, dude, could I Charlie Kirk this bitch? Like, really? Can I really Charlie Kirk this bitch and just swipe that under? Nah, that's gonna come out. You know the law.
Yeah.
All truth comes to light. You know the rules. So I just screamed it, and thank God I did, because it really loosened me up, and it made me like just think, wow, that's a really big to let myself know I won't take the money, because that's what it all comes down to, dude. Will
Yeah, it does.
ask everybody, any great author, if you ever interview like Ike or any other douchebag on his level, just be like, listen, dude, if your message was so important, why isn't it online for free? Why
Yeah.
do you always charge people? That's
And
where you're fucked.
and you know what? Honestly, here is how my whole thing started. The way that I ended up right here doing what I'm doing. Just a quick rundown. My whole thing was I was looking and finding all of this information, and I found it, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. And it's like I had so much information that there's no way that I could read and digest everything that I have. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go and start a Twitter, start a page, and start sharing it with people. And like you said, don't believe anything I say. Here is all the information. Here's a link. It has everything you need in it, and you can make your own decisions. But obviously, you send people this link. They want to come up and they want to say, no, you're wrong. You're not right. And then I say, well, here's the proof. And they're just not interested in it. So that's true. That's absolutely true. And from there, I did well on X, and I'm now at, maybe 1,400 followers. I think probably half of them are bots. And lately, my Substack, I've been giving just overviews and deep dives of books. So I'll just list like a big overview of it. People can listen to it and hear what the book has to say. I interview people now as something I'm venturing into, because in the span of 1 month, I went from 400 subscribers on Substack to now I'm over 2,500. So I'm like,
Wow.
let's start doing, let's start interviewing people. Let's start talking to people. And here I am. And so really, I'm interested in people that are able to make good conversation. One, people that are knowledgeable just about anything. If it's something that I don't know anything about, that's better, because then I could sit down and learn something new. And
that's what we're gonna do with Isaac's army. Like, because I got brought into the order, and because I got Fritz, Dave from Isaac's army realized, dude, like, this guy's got continuous fucking info, and that's, I'll do it to your show too if you want, dude. I'd love to come on once a month and just tell you guys,
hell yeah,
like, everything I'm learning from like, one thing I will say, like, from my first interaction from a week ago is that in 2001, the order decreed that the four holy books would never be shown in only DC. Like, there are certain cities that they expose the cube. There's Dallas, there's New Orleans, there's Boston, there's New York, there's Chicago. Like, there's certain cities where they show these books, and one of them happens to be in LA, where I saw the holy books. And so I was like, no way! Like, damn it.
Is there a reason for those locations?
Oh yeah, ley lines.
I was about to say, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Only it's just ley line powered. They only choose these cities like Phoenix, Arizona, shitload of ley lines. Los Angeles, City of Angels, ley lines. Boston, ley lines. It's just all ley lines, dude. And it's just Dallas, ley lines. It's the only place in Texas they allow the four holy books, because Dallas is on the 33rd northern parallel where Kennedy was shot in front of the Mason Lodge. Yeah. It's just the only place, and that's where these guys in Texas, the Melchizedek here in Texas, both these guys went up to Dallas to see the four holy books, and they go over to New Orleans once every 2 months, they say, to do their ritual work. So they're going to bring me over there, and I hope I meet some shapeshifters, because I really want to talk to these guys. Be like, hey, the prophecy of the two witnesses. You have to send 2 Christians to be sacrificed to the Antichrist. You got one here.
You know what? Let me run this by you, because it's interesting you mentioned that. I've heard, and again, this it's just really
the 2 witnesses, the 2 pillars that challenge the Antichrist in a magical battle.
So what if one of them is the Bible and the Word itself, but the other one is history and how the prophecy is played out through history?
No, it has to be 2 living creatures, because the thing is, the pillars of Masonry are going to be alive, and that's what the 2 witnesses represent. The 2 pillars of God that Lucifer stole and faced to the east. You have to understand, God, Captain Jehovah, and Jesus face to the west. Lucifer faces to the east. And they took the temple of God the first 2 times it fell, that face to the west, and they just flipped it to the east and called it a Masonic lodge. And that's the whole point of all this. Like, you got to have there's carnal direction is very important. And shit, I just lost my train of thought. I'm out here on the side of the highway, fucking outside my car. What were we just talking about? I'm sorry, dude.
So we were talking about the 2 witnesses. You said that they were
the 2 witnesses. Creatures. So the pillars come alive. Okay, so the 2 witnesses, the pillars come alive to face the Antichrist. And how cool would that be? Because they have the prophecy says they face the Antichrist, they lose the battle. 3 days later, after they get stomped on in public and pissed on and shit on in the streets, God sends a beam of light and pulls their body up in front of everybody. But here's the thing. How cool would that be if the witnesses went over there and kicked his fucking ass and then just laid down their lives to complete the prophecy? Oh, that'd be so gangster.
Awesome. That'd be
so
awesome.
gangster, dude. Like, I hope I get to be one of those. Because I do. There is no greater honor to be a Christian 33rd Mason and to give yourself for the prophecy for the people. Like, please give me that. Like,
To
please.
to be in such to live in such a interesting time, and to have been around and introduced to and friends with and work along and study alongside with, I think there are definitely great things in the future for
I want
a lot
to.
of people today.
Yeah, I want to give my petition. Like, listen, you guys are the ones that are completing these prophecies for the world. You know, you have to send 2 Christians to sacrifice. Send me Isaiah 6:8. Send me, dude. Come on, like,
Mhm.
let me do it. Like, that would be the greatest honor, dude. And I would not ever ask Fritz to be the second pillar. If they let him have his life with his children, but
Yeah.
for me, like, for how young I'm, only 42. That would set such a great example for everyone else, dude. Like, that would just, man, send me, dude. I'm gonna get all gooey on you, so let's move
No, you're good.
on.
So, okay, so um, one thing that I have looked into and that I have not really heard much talked about. This is a very interesting concept. So, in Mormonism, the LDS, they have this word. It's called Mahan, Mahan. Now, here's something interesting. If in Freemasonry you have the word Mahabon, which represents the lost word of Hiram Abiff.
Yeah.
But if you read Mahabon in Hebrew and you just drop the Beth, it becomes
Mhm.
Mahon.
Yeah,
And
it's just
so,
masonry is just Mormonism is just masonry on Front Street in a tax exempt religion. That's all it is.
yeah, and so Mahon, in at least in what the way Mormonism portrays it, is Mahon is this dark priesthood, and so the first to call himself Master Mahon would be Cain, after conspiring with Satan to murder Abel, and that
Mm-hmm.
is this idea that we're going to create this. Basically, at least in the Mormon scripture, the oath that Cain takes with Satan is literally like very close to a Masonic oath. And so Smith was definitely trying to point the finger at Masonry, but it's this idea. Honestly, the way John Kennedy says, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. He's saying the enemy of all of us is this secrecy that's being used to do evil, and that's what Mahonism is. It is this idea of keeping secrets to breed fear as a way to control people.
Yeah, Bill Cooper wasn't. Bill Cooper nailed it, dude. It's not fucking the enemy. Is not Russia. It's not China. It's those dudes 2 blocks away from you, dicing it up. Those are the guys. Like, I really took that to heart. Like, dude, I want to challenge. If Bill Cooper says that is the problem,
Hmm.
I'm gonna tackle that because no one's really tackled that. Like, all these guys who come out of Masonry Exposed, they always have the same story. Yeah, I took the oath, and yeah, I had a crisis of conscience. It's like, yeah, dude, good luck with that. You know, and I know. You might have broken the unforgivable sin, denying the Holy Ghost when you did that. So have fun. I'm not
So
going that route.
you haven't taken a Masonic oath.
Fuck no. I spent years reading the books to get around that thing, know everything they know to be able to trick them, to make
Wow.
them think I did it so I can get
Okay.
around that fucking oath, dude.
So I mean, it's
I'm
like
not bound to them. I
if
am not bound.
if you say this openly, is there like any risk that they would like see you say that? No.
I beat them at their own game. I'm not under their oath. Like, I tricked them. The
Okay.
only thing that they can get away with is just killing me out of anger. And dude,
Yeah.
please do. Like, please do. Like, I'm just begging for the sacrifice, dude. Like, I am such a sinner. I'm such a piece of shit. But if you sacrifice me in the circle, I'll be laughing my ass off the whole time because, dude, I get to go to the front of the line, dude. You guys, like, dude, like, do you need help dropping that blade? Like, come on, dude. Like, no, come on. You can do it a little harder. Come on. You know,
Have
apply
you
yourself.
ever have you have you ever heard of this term called it's toten pass, but what it means is passport for the dead. And if you look at the translation of the Book of the Dead, it has this similar idea. It's what I think book of Coming Forth by Day, but it's this idea of it's like instructions for how to navigate the afterlife. And so there is in the Orphic Greek traditions, they would bury their initiates with this gold, like this gold plate, and it would have instructions on it. And the gist of it is that you come to what they call the lake of memory, and it's guarded by two guards. And there's a password, and the password is to tell the guards that you are a child of earth and starry heaven, which
Huh.
means to, at least the way I read it, I mean, the way that I interpret that is to ultimately, basically to plead that you are a human who needs to be forgiven, because if you are half divine but half of the earth, and that means that half of you is definitely fallible. And so, that being said, you are only a human who needs to be forgiven, and then by the blood of Christ you are forgiven, but you have to ask for it, and you have to understand that you need forgiveness. You have to understand, and you have to ask for that, because the question that you are asked by these guards is simple. It's, who are you? Who are you? And some people, the vain among us, they will sit and they will talk for hours and hours. Let's, for instance, Trump
They
himself
have X
said,
spaces every day, dude.
yeah, Trump himself has said, why do I need to ask for forgiveness if I've done nothing wrong? And so when he's asked, who are you? He'll sit and he'll say, I'm the greatest, I'm the best, this, that, and the other. But the one thing he will never say is that he's fallible and needs to be forgiven. And quite literally, because of that, because you can't conceive of the idea that maybe you did do something wrong. Maybe you're not perfect. Because you can't conceive of that, you will never ask for forgiveness. And so you've damned, as in a river dam, to stop
Well,
progression,
well,
damnation.
asking for forgiveness doesn't make any profit. You have to understand, like my stepdad and my mom, they're all about money and dollars. They don't give a shit about their family and children. They're all about dollars. I get it. I know how people live by the dollar and the
Mhm.
cent. Like I know how they'll, you know, sacrifice their own kids for their wealth. I come from that, so I
Yeah.
get that. And that's how Trump thinks. If it doesn't make money, why say anything? Because when you come from a lifestyle of just when your whole life is money and nothing else, you understand how they think, and it's shameless, absolutely shameless. Like,
So, yeah, and here's another thing. I don't know if I ever ran this by you, but what I discovered, as a matter of fact, is that Donald Trump and Donald Drumpf, with his German last name, in Hebrew, 424 gematria, which is Messiah, son of David.
mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
So,
gonna be the Masons know he's gonna try to, because the Antichrist, he has to have a coven of 10.
mm,
And this is the Masonic, this is the gossip on the street, like that I learned from the Melchizedek, is that Elon Musk, when he did the Hitler salute, was actually the Shriner 32nd degree salute. He just
really?
became a Shriner that night, and he got pissed at Trump because Trump promised him he'd see the four holy books sooner than he was told. And the Melchizedek order said, nah, you got to do a little bit more study first before you can see the books. Like, so he got pissed, broke away, started, Epstein and everybody, and just like it's a Masonic beef. And this is why Elon, and I get it, where Elon has a point. He is, who he is, and he deserves to be in the coven. He wants to be
Mhm.
one of the 10, to be,
Yeah.
so he can go, so he can get, permission to do what he wants to do in Mars. Because, dude, once you get to Mars, man, there ain't no turning back. Because, man, could you imagine what a brilliant move of the awakening movement to set people back 500 years with flat earth. That's brilliant, because you can't produce
God,
any books for it. You can't produce any books.
man,
It's all
that
YouTube.
was,
Yeah, that was brilliant, with an awakening movement, but just set their mentality back 500 years on the baseline of it all. So now
yeah,
you really set a lot of people. That's brilliant, but dude, the Masons know it's just one of the cards in the Illuminati deck. It's just we play that card all the
literally,
time.
literally.
Yeah, they play that card all the time. But you try to tell flat earthers that they are no. It's just like QAnoners. You can't tell them any different, because this is liberalism's a religion, QAnon's a religion, conservatism's a religion, Zionism. It's all political religion,
Yeah,
and it's all bought and paid for. It's all about making money. But it's just
yeah.
like people need to understand, dude. Like the bullshit's got to eventually stop, and that's what me and Fritz are gonna try to do. We just want the bullshit to stop, dude. It's too much.
So So what I am aware that, for instance, a lot of these, Jewish rabbis are aware of that idea with Trump, and I've also noticed he first of all, the obsession with gold, and that's the sun, but then Apollo. There is some connection I've heard between the Antichrist and the god Apollo, and as we know, Trump has this big mural in his penthouse of Apollo, and so I wonder if he has been raised in such a way that he has been told that he is this, Messiah, son of David. What do you think the Jews, the Zionists, and the people who want to rebuild the third temple, how do they view Trump?
Well, they know he's the Trump that needs to be blown. Like his whole fake ritual of Exodus 21:6, the fake assassination attempt. That was the
That was pretty wild.
piercing of the ear to his Zionist
Yep.
master. That's what.
Yep.
That's
And
all that.
rabbis know this.
Yeah, rabbis all know that, and that's why
Hmm.
you had the. That's why they had all those Jewish people dancing at the Republican National Convention.
Hmm.
Just
Yeah.
dancing around. They're doing their victory dance, dude. People didn't see it. Just like, dude, the Jewish people. I lived in LA for almost 10 years, and that's what they're. That's a victory dance.
Yeah, and also the day that happened, I do remember that was the day that they were doing also the cremation of care at Bohemian Grove, and I believe there was a chaos constellation. I remember.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with Apollo is that they all know the Antichrist is going to be installed from what comes from the sky.
Hmm.
What comes from the sky is what's going to install Maitreya, the Antichrist, and be like, hey,
Maitreya, yeah.
World War III, we notice you're blowing yourself up with nukes. We're here to help. Put this guy up. That's all they're going to say.
Hmm. And I know I've got this. Let's see, I've got your. What I did was I took a lot of these posts that you had that were really good information, and I just put them into like a document so that I had it easy to reference. And I know you mentioned the return of Jesus according to the Freemasons, and you said that the target was 2030, correct?
2033,
20.
34, between
Okay.
3 and 4. Yeah, that's
Okay.
when they expect Jesus to return and free up all the technology. They're going to take us. They're just going to free up all the tech, and for 1,000 years, we're just gonna go along with the Pleiadian order, and they're just gonna develop us with our religion of Christ, and it's gonna be awesome, dude. It's just I just feel so bad for all those people who are gonna be left behind, dude. Man, I hope I'm not one of them because that would be the shittiest feeling in the world.
My buddy Enoch that I interviewed yesterday, he left a chat. He said that Donald Trump translates and means roughly the announcer of the ruler of the earth.
Well, that makes sense because every high-ranking Mason's trying to get into the Coven right now. Trump wants in, Elon wants in, the Dalai Lama wants in. It's just,
Really?
yeah, they all want in, dude. The Dalai Lama, the ruler of the Prince of India wants in. Like, dude, they all are fighting to see who gets the 10 spots because once you get those 10 spots, dude, like that's like the highest honor you can achieve if you chose the book of the law, the Bhagavad Gita, or the Quran. Like if you chose one of the three other books that represent the beast of an animal, this is the highest honor you can achieve. But for us Christians who chose the King James, our highest honor is to be one of the two sacrifices of the pillars coming alive as the two witnesses. That's our whole goal. Like we want to go over there, kick his ass in a magical battle, and just when he's fucking down, we'll just lay ourselves down to complete the prophecy. Just let it be known that you were always a bitch.
So how do
Let it be
we
known.
how are we or does anybody know like how many of these 10 have already been selected, or how many, like how do we know how many vacancies there are?
Well, it's gonna be 10 because the Antichrist is the exalted 11th who has to run the coven, and that's everything in that craft. If you read those spell books, you understand the power of the 11, the 777, all that numerology. You get it. It's all ranking. And when you read the book of the law, Ewas said to Aleister Crowley straight up, he goes, "I am the number 11, and when that prophecy of abomination, desolation hits, make sure you have it ready for me because I am coming." Like that book of the law, if you read it, it was basically a demon just telling him, get ready because we're coming. And this is why it replaced the Egyptian Book of the Dead, because they know he actually made contact.
So yeah, and so I wanted to just get everybody up to speed on that. So There is this idea that there are, the cube and the quaternary model of the four elements. They assign the Freemasons at the 33rd degree assign these to four books, which correspond to four creatures and four elements. Now, one thing I have noticed in my research that sometimes for instance, the book of the ox and earth is the Bhagavad Gita. The book of man and water is the power of healing others, the Holy Bible. The book of the lion and fire is the Quran and control by submission. And finally, the book of the law is the book of eagle and air, controlled by magic and demonology. So I have actually noted in some of the books that I've seen, they actually switch those. And I don't know if they're doing that on purpose. I've heard, for instance, I believe that they put, I
They'll
think,
switch serpent and man, dragon and man. Yeah, they like to do
yes,
that. They like to switch it around because if you read Helena Blavatsky and Manly P. Hall and Albert Pike, the thing is with these dark workers, they like to replace the man with one of their creatures to kind of like make the other person think, yeah, you don't need Jesus. It's a trick. And I know not to fall for it. And I confronted the guys the other day when I met them. They're like, good job. You didn't, this is what they respect about me. I can see I chose my craft and I'm not going to give in. It's just like, they need that though. But people need to understand is that like, because I won't give in, the Luciferians love that because now they don't have to donate so much to charity. They don't have to go feed homeless as much because they know, okay, we got a Christian force Mason worker over here doing his duty and releasing our Luciferian balance of karma. So yeah, thank you. It's like they like it when I do my work because it frees them up and they don't have to do so much. So it's all a part of the galaxy is all about balance. The universe is all about balance, good and evil. And, the gateholders of Shambhala and the Muslims are just there on the side. And it's really between the Christians and the Satanists. And the thing is like, I respect them for what they do. It's like, dude, that's not easy. It's like, would you fucking choose money for all that vile evil? I couldn't do it. More props to them. But I come from a lifestyle of money, so I don't need to go that route. It's like, if you want to damn your soul, if you think the treasures on this planet are worth the suffering of the app, go for it. But me, I come from that. I don't see any light at the end of that tunnel. I would rather do what Bill Cooper and Jesus did because it's all about street. That's the thing I've noticed about Jesus is that he just had the most street cred.
And also Bill Cooper, also Fritz Springmeier, just like
Street
you said,
cred, yeah,
all
street
it,
cred.
in addition to that, there's one other thing. When I hear all of them talk, they have this power of language. They have got this ability to use words, to forge words, to
Mm-hmm.
convey all of this information, and the way they do it is very talented. Especially Bill Cooper, he was
Yeah,
very talented.
yeah, he was a demo himself. He knew what they did. This is why they took him out because he was under oath as a
Mhm.
child. It's just like, yeah, that sucks for Bill. He just another one of these guys who was under oath who just, it's like, but me, this is what separates me from the rest, and this is why Fritz likes it so much because it's something different no one's ever done, and it's just like, yeah, Bill Schneblin, Cooper, all you guys, I got something on you that that you wish you had, and it's just like I'm not bound to any of you, like, and I think that just makes my point more palatable. It's just people are going to see that all these platforms with all these followers getting all these subscriptions, these are the bullshit, and people are going to be looking to see like who's got the most street cred and the least amount of it's going to go the opposite way, but we're in that fluctuation phase now that Trump and QAnon's bullshit that woke a lot of people up, so we're kind of like in another awakening process. People got to let that go. I mean, even Jake the QAnon shaman, he's done forever. It's just it's relieving that the deception of the controlled Zionist opposition is failed in the research realm. Thank God, now we can really move forward and tackle some shit.
Tell me about one thing that so I don't know if you're driving or what you're doing, but a lot of the information that you were talking about with like the cube and the four elements and the way this fourfold model works, I kind of took that and ran with it. I was telling you about the Tetragrammaton. That came from a book by Pappas called Tarot of the Bohemians.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually just took that idea of the Tetragrammaton and I did, it's like maybe a 50 or 60 page, like short ebook. Like I wrote it into a form that was easy for people to kind of digest. But
Nice.
there's this overlay with the fourfold model. You know, you have proton, electron, neutron, and then you have the atom. You have father, mother, child. Then you have the family. You have problem, reaction, solution. You have dialectic. But
Yeah,
then
that's the Satanic Trinity. Watch out. That mother, father, child, that's the Satanic Trinity. Watch for that, because the Holy Trinity is Father, Son, Holy Ghost. The Satanic Trinity is all based around sex, father, mother, child. That's what the G in Masonry is all about.
generative, yeah.
Generativity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about generativity and angels coming down, fucking women, and now we have the Illuminati. That's what all that is about.
So there is also this. Okay, so for instance, in let's see, let me get this right. There is in the Osirian legend with the Egyptian Osiris. They've actually changed and hidden this fact, but the phallus of Osiris was thrown into the Nile and consumed by three fish, not just one. It's three. You have the three ruffians. You have the three Jewess, there as they're called in Masonry: ignorance, superstition, and fear. Correct?
Yep.
So, what is the deal with ignorance, superstition, and fear?
That's what they run the world on. Ignorance, superstition, and fear. That's what they feed to profane. That's what media is, the music. Yeah, you keep a society based on that, you got them. And I mean, they gave you, what's so funny and what I really took to shock is that, and I didn't realize this till I went to jail in LA County, like they are purposely like just, this is how the occult works. They'll give you the secret of all the mysteries in the King James, and only the initiate will see it. It's crazy how they just put the secret in the open for everyone to see. But,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for 28 years of my life, I walked right by it. Now I'm just, 42, and I'm like, wow, like, you guys really don't see that anymore? Like, people are trying, they're waking up, like, to Trump's whole black cubes and his,
Mm-hmm.
people are waking up because the cube is the symbol of the book of the law of Mason. Like, if you
Mm-hmm.
rock a black cube, that is the symbol of the book of the law. The Latin cross has to be Latin. The Latin cross is the symbol of my craft of Masonry. And we whenever we see a cube everywhere, we just laugh. And you try to tell all these people for years about Trump. I can't believe no one even read Project 25 and Agenda 47. It's just like,
I was
dude,
in that space with you. I remember when you were talking about that.
it's like, dude, am I high? Like, am I the like I thought I was stoned. None of you have read it. Like, what the fuck, dude? We all know the Illuminati print their agenda, and you won't even check it.
Yeah.
Like,
and then when they do,
fuck?
then they say, "Oh no, this is not going to happen. This is."
They got to protect the ignorance, dude. But that's a weird thing. They all know the way. It's like the Illuminati have to print the agenda, but no one will read it, and that's what they laugh about. I think that's really why they show me the books. Like, dude, have at it. Do your worst.
So a lot of these, for instance, these evangelicals in Congress, like Mike Johnson and these really hard Christian right-wing evangelicals.
They're all book of the law. They're all force workers.
So, have you ever heard this term restorationalist used?
A restorationalist?
Yeah, to restore basically like Puritan Old Testament law, like rule by the law. It's Jewish Christianity basically, but it's go back to Sunday, Sunday Sabbath blue laws, to pretty much make it a crime to violate the Old Testament law.
That's in Project 2025.
Yes,
they want to make that's the power of the Vatican. The Vatican, since the Protestant Reformation, that's been the goal of the Jesuits, to have that Sunday law. Like, they know if they get the world under their control on the day of Lucifer, they got the world by the balls.
Yes.
And that's the thing. It's just like Jesus said in the Dead Sea Scrolls over and over, dude. It's like, dude, keep Saturday sacred because it's the only day. And, people any church that worships on a Sunday, they got control. Martin Luther would roll in his grave if he saw what happened. It's just so sad.
Was the Catholic, so like you said, my research is exactly what you said. The Jesuits are kind of pioneering it. So was it a Jewish infiltration to the Catholic Church, or where did this?
Absolutely, Simon
Okay.
May just set up the whole that Simon May. Every high Mason knows that before Simon Magus was killed on his elevation trick, because he did this thing in public where he would elevate, and fucking one of the apostles goes, you know what, in the name of Jesus, drop his ass. And he fell from like 40 feet in front of like hundreds of people. It's the funniest shit you ever read about.
Right.
And he was the guy who basically set up the Vatican, because he tried to purchase the power of the apostles. He couldn't get it, but he followed them around. He goes, oh, I know how they do it. Like, okay, I'm going to go up to Rome. Be like, hey, check it out. I followed them around. I know how to do it. I'm a magician myself. Let's make a deal. And that's exactly what he did. It's just, it's pretty funny how Simon Magus was like a David Blaine back in the day, and they just go, you know what? Drop his ass.
Right.
Yeah, cool story.
Yeah, there's a lot of just the stuff that you have. What is the most insane, like, just, I guess you could say, like, mess with your mind? Like, what is the craziest stuff you've ever seen?
What's the craziest piece of research? What is the craziest? I think I have to be either the Greada Treaty and how everything has shaped since 1954 exactly the way that would plan out. And I'd say the new Schwabenland city size of Seattle at Antarctica on the shelf, where the Nazis are still living today with over a million of their descendants of blue-eyed. That was shocking to me. It's like, wow, dude. It's like, you got 250,000 of the fucking what was that program they did of in Germany? They just had this breeding program of Aryans, and they took them all in a submarine down to Antarctica and just raised them. And there's literally 250,000 Aryans living down there. That's wonderful, dude. Let them live. Let them live, dude. Like, they have a good reason. And if you know the story of Atlantis, you understand the war between the Agarthans and the Shambhalans. The war between the Aryans and the Semites. This is so old. The swastika and the hexagram. This is white wizard against black wizard that sunk Atlantis. And when you know that story, dude, like, thank God they survived, dude. They got a point. Like, dude, if I was living back then, I'd be like, dude, can I go? Fuck, I'm Jewish. Can I go still? Like, like, get me out of this shit.
What is the, okay, I've heard this a few times, and I've been, I've had, some idea. What is the Order of Melchizedek?
It's just the 33rd degree Masons, man. It's just the 144,000 33rd degree Masons that are going to lead the world into what it's going in. It's just 144,000 33rd degree Masons that are just going to, just lead the world through the prophecies. And, I like Melchizedek. He was the monkey wrench that Captain Jehovah threw in the whole Satanic order. Think of like, you got the whole reptilian order running things in Babylon with a tower, and then you have the Pleiadian order just throws this monkey wrench Melchizedek with all the power of the galaxy just to tell Abraham every secret and go to the West. It was so cool. Like, Melchizedek was such a monkey wrench to throw in the whole dude, because Lucifer, he comes so close, and it's just like, dude, like, you're not. I get where you're coming from, Lucy. I get it. Like, imagine if you ran a Fortune 500 company with your best friend from college, and right one day he goes, hey, my son's getting out of school, and he's going to be vice president. You're like, excuse me?
Yeah.
We built this shit together, bro, and you're going to let your son take my spot? Fuck you. Like, I get it, dude. I think Lucifer has as a Christian, I would defend him as a lawyer. I'd be like, Your Honor, as a Christian, I'd die for Jesus. But I get this argument. I get that. And me, I would be like, that sucks, but it's God. So I got to submit. That sucks, but it's humility. Can you humble yourself? That's all it is, dude.
It is.
And me personally, I can do it. I can do it. And it's because if you want power, I get it. And I understand Lucifer's point, dude. I sympathize with it. Like, dude, that would suck. That would suck, dude. He tried so hard, and he did a lot of good things. But then you're like, okay, my son's good. Like, I get it. I get it.
There's an old song, "Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood." There,
Yes, from Nobody, the
yeah,
soundtrack. And I don't understand. Yeah, I love
yes,
that song, dude.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I think that's really kind of the
that's what their
idea there.
justification. That is exactly their justification. Because what they do is they're like, Lucifer freed us from the garden. He gave us the cube. We should, I just go, I'm like, all right, I get that, but don't you notice how every piece of technology that we trade our children for is going to eventually enslave us?
Hmm.
Why don't you check that out? It's like, that's the whole trick to it. It's like, dude, I like refrigerators. I love Mario Kart. But in the end, they're going to make me take a chip.
Hmm.
And I can give up my mortgage and my Mario Kart for that chip. I don't know
Yeah,
about the rest of y'all,
right.
but I can. But with
So
that, dude, I gotta wrap this up, dude, because I gotta do some stuff. But if you would grace me the permission, dude, like I would just love to come on your show once a month and just
dude,
chop it up with you, dude.
let's do
Like,
it. Let's do
yeah,
it.
dude, because like
Absolutely.
I'm gonna meet with the Melchizedek next week. We're gonna go to a half price bookstore and just we love going to half price bookstores and seeing what we can find. It's like going to TJ Maxx for chicks. But that's what
Oh my
we
gosh.
high rank. Yeah, we high rank and Masons. We love to go to half price bookstores and do
Wow.
shopping like TJ. That's how we get our kick. So
Wow. That's
when
good.
we go to
Good
have
info.
yeah, so when we go to the bookstore next week and chop it up, have a couple coffees, like I'll let you know what I find out. Then I would
Do
just
it.
it's my job, dude, because I've chosen my path, and all I have to say for your audience is just please read your King James and know the plan of what they're
Yeah.
going to do. Get your hearts ready, and just know that money is so thin. Money is only the integrity of money is only as thin as the paper. So please make the right choice, y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for bringing me on.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Hang on for 1 second. Let me get us ended up and let me
Oh,
just close this out. Everybody, I appreciate you tuning in and hearing this conversation that we had. I had an amazing time, just endless source of information, and we could go on forever. And I'm truly honored that you want to come back and do this monthly because that would be so fun to do. So, everybody, thank you for tuning in. And we will see you the next time.
thank you very much.